Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the TV6 Digital Desk live stream. My name is Molly Birch, and I'll be taking you through a recap of today's headlines. This stream runs every night starting at 8 to 7 Central Time from Sunday to Thursday. Feel free to comment and ask any questions you have in the chat when you feel like it, and I'll do my best to answer those questions as we go and after the stream as well. With all of that business out of the way, let's take a look at our first story for tonight. In continuing coverage, 3 of Menominee's 5 marijuana retail dispensaries are still closed due to a court order. As we first told you Saturday, Loom, Nirvana Center, and Higher Love were shut down on Friday. The 41st Circuit Court says the city failed to comply with a preliminary injunction on September 26th and ordered the immediate closure of the businesses. The injunction was to not issue more marijuana licenses and to maintain the status quo. In a statement, City Attorney Matthew Cross says, "We are disappointed by the court's ruling, and we will be filing a motion to dissolve the temporary restraining order entered Friday afternoon." He did not comment on the city's plan to meet the deadline to show why these businesses should remain open. The city has until November 15th at 9:30 in the morning to either do that or enforce the court's October 17th order and keep the businesses closed. And in Decision 2023 coverage, election officials in the city of Marquette says early voting went better than expected because of decent turnout. The city took part in a pilot program that offered 4 days of early voting. City Clerk Kyle Whitney says around 70 people voted early. Whitney says the information learned will help clerks statewide be better prepared for the next election cycle.
I think part of it is a benefit to the state, is a benefit to clerks around the state and to the process moving forward, because there's a lot of feedback sessions. There were a lot of conference calls and stuff throughout the life of the pilot where we're learning from each other, but also the state is getting some real on-the-ground feedback from clerks.
Whitney says there might be adjustments to the early voting process next year. All municipalities will be required to offer early voting in 2024. And voters in Kingsford will decide tomorrow whether the city should keep its civil service exam. Michigan's civil service exam was created in the 1930s and adopted by Kingsford in 1951. According to Kingsford Mayor Joe Greneveld, as collective bargaining agreements began dictating public workers' contracts, many cities ended the civil service exam. He says Kingsford is one of the only cities in Upper Michigan to still use the exam.
Just about every city in the UP and the state has rescinded the civil service, and we haven't. Because of that, it has become somewhat of a disadvantage for us to be able to recruit and hire officers.
Yet residents will vote yes to rescind the exam or no to keep it. Tomorrow is Election Day across the Upper Peninsula, and some voters have local proposals and races to decide. The polls are open from 7 in the morning until 8 o'clock tomorrow local time. To find out what, if anything, is on your ballot, go to uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. And for our next story, state funding is helping more people looking to start a career in law enforcement. In Houghton County, a police department is offering the chance to do just that for 2 interested applicants. TV6's Houghton Hancock Bureau reporter Colin Jackson spoke with officers at the department about the job that applicants would be getting into.
Across the country, the need for police officers is increasing. The Houghton City Police Department is no exception.
It's been a real shortage of people coming forward to get into this profession, accompanied with a lot of people exiting it and retiring.
2 positions are open for interested applicants looking to become officers for the department. Grant funding from the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards is making this possible.
We can actually hire somebody on prior to them going to the police academy. We're able to pay for them to go to the police academy and pay them while they're in the police academy.
It would also cover housing and food costs for the academy, which is 3 to 4 months. Donnelly notes the current need for officers nationwide has resulted in easier opportunities for joining law enforcement such as this. Depending on the time, applicants would go to one of 2 possible academies.
Historically, people from this area go to the Northern Michigan Police Academy. This year, just because of the time, they only start up in May. If it was possible, we may send somebody downstate to an academy that was maybe starting in January.
One of the department's newest officers, Carter Crouch, went through the academy over the summer and began working in the department in August. Crouch grew up in Lake Linden and attended Finlandia University. He chose to pursue a career in law enforcement following the university's closure. To applicants considering applying, he says to approach it with an open mind and that making mistakes will happen, but is a chance to learn.
There's definitely a lot of stress that comes with this job. Put that right out there. Not going to hide it from anyone. But I think it's what ultimately, if you can operate under stress, it'll definitely help you progress in the long run.
Applications are due by Wednesday, but Donnelly says that they can be turned in up to a week beyond the due date if necessary. To apply, go to uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. Colin Jackson, TV6 News, Houghton.
Thank you, Colin. And in some consumer news, a new RV dealership is coming to Marquette. Airstream of Northern Michigan is based out of Traverse City and is expanding to Marquette. The location will be on Baraga Avenue along US 41 near the Salvation Army. Airstream's general manager says customers will be able to purchase new RVs and get repairs. As an NMU alumni, he says he's excited to come back to the Upper Peninsula.
We're just excited to bring Airstream up there, get the community more involved. We're hoping to work with the community a little bit and hoping to work with NMU a little bit and getting more people active in the outdoor recreation industry, which is already huge up there.
The dealership is expected to be open in late spring or early summer. And Special Olympics Area 36 needs your help replacing its storage facility. The organization is hosting its 38th annual Trim the Tree fundraiser in December. Participants will celebrate the holiday season and Special Olympics athletes and volunteers. The organization says it needs a lot of help from the community this year because its storage facility for athletes' equipment burned down last semester. Organizers say Special Olympics athletes love the event.
They just really enjoy this. They love the food, they love spending time together, they love having people come in and to meet all the people. They get dressed up. It's basically the beginning of Christmas for these guys.
Trim the Tree is Thursday, December 7th from 5 until 7 in the evening at the Holiday Inn in Marquette. And nominations are now open for 2023 Sister Stockings. Sister Stockings are handmade holiday stockings filled with self-care gifts. They're delivered on the winter solstice to Marquette County women who are nominated this holiday season. There are 20 stockings available this year. Sister Stockings founder says her favorite part of Sister Stockings is seeing women's faces when they get their gifts.
To show a woman through this program that she's seen and she is appreciated and admired despite the difficulties she's going through, it fills us up and it keeps us going.
To nominate a woman for a Sister Stocking or to donate to the organization, go to uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. And for our final story this evening, there's a new park open in Skandia Township. Construction on the Skandia Township Hall Park wrapped up in October. The township updated equipment like swings and slides and added an ADA-compliant structures to ensure all children can access the park. Before this project, the park was last updated in the 1960s. This was funded with help from a DNR passport grant. A Skandia Township trustee says the community was also instrumental in the project.
This is what happens when people get an idea together and they come together as a community and build something that everybody can enjoy.
The Skandia Township Hall Park isn't done yet. The township also plans to raise money for a new walking path for the park. And that's all the stories we have for you tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night, where I'll be here in the same place at the same time. That's 8/7 Central Time with a recap of tomorrow's headlines. You can find us streaming on Facebook or YouTube, whichever platform you'd prefer. If you have a story idea you think we should report on, feel free to contact us at any time. These are a few easy ways to get a hold of both myself and others in the newsroom. And again, you can contact us at any time. We would love to hear from you and what's happening in your community. Thank you all again for joining me live at the TV6 Digital Desk. Have a great rest of your night.